This is a charity interview.
People like, oh, it would be so hard to undo all the corruption that exists within the system. No, it's actually relatively easy.
Oh, I need to hear this. How?
It's not America first to set the conditions that will later harm America.
Yeah. Just creating new terrorists for the future.
I think that's right. And look, I mean, anybody who is honest and looks at what's happening in Gaza right now has got to be absolutely sickened by it.
That's where the hollow earth theory starts coming in.
Just another
provide the other
but
end of that.
Hollow earth is
The
they're
hollow
saying
flat earth.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds.
Have you ever read about the reasons they attacked us? They attack us because we've been over there.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
what do you want to do?
I don't know, T. Let's just go fucking start the show.
All right, after that movie that we just watched. What's up, Doom Nation, and welcome back. You were listening to the Two Doom Men podcast. As always, it's Scagz and yours truly, the captain, and returning for the umpteenth million time, the third member of the Doom Nation, G-Money, Garrett, the samurai, man of many names. How you been, buddy?
I've been good, man. Doing better. So
yeah, you weren't feeling well for a little bit. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, I got sick for a little bit, but I'm starting to bounce back, and I'm feeling a little bit better. So it's one day at a time type of thing, you know. But
Yep.
it's nice to be back on with you guys and be able to see your beautiful faces.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Yep,
so
definitely. Thank you.
Me and Sky's got the same haircut. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
You're the inspiration behind this.
did.
Don't forget. I'm
know.
excited to have you back, man. If for those who are listening, the zero of you at the moment, you know, like the podcast, it continues in perpetuity with Garrett, you know, through a group chat, and it never ended. It just has continued going for months, even though Garrett hasn't actually been on to record with us, and we've been really trying to the past like 3 weeks or so.
Well,
and
what I was thinking was-
snowstorms, trips, things, just everything life getting in the way, and then the war started here now. We haven't.
What I was joking about was the fact that we originally were up Garrett's ass to get him back on to talk about Epstein and conspiracy theories. And well, they were ready to blow up the world before they let that all out of the bag. And they started a war to distract us. And now, instead of talking Epstein files and conspiracies and how we told you so, and we've been right, we have to talk about yet another war.
I know, it's amazing, right, guys? Like it's wild. I mean, we all saw this playbook coming a mile away. Like, we've been talking about it for years. We're like, they're never gonna let the real shit out. And then my other thing is, like, AI has gotten so big. Even if they let out the shit, everybody's gonna be like, it's fucking AI.
Yeah, there's been even in terms of this war, there's been so much AI videos coming out now. The good news is I've seen people immediately are able to fucking spot it out and call it out for now. Until it gets maybe, you know, better to the point where maybe you really can't tell it anymore. But absolutely, dude. And you're right. Like, this is another win. You know, put this one on the, you know, on the left side for the conspiracy theorists, where we all did say when the Epstein shit came out, they, you know, they probably would go to the lengths of starting a fucking war with Iran to distract from it. I mean, I'm not distracted from it, but I do think it's important to talk about what I want to talk about tonight, which is, in my opinion, Trump's fucking ultimate betrayal of everything that all of us supported him for in the last election. This is like the culmination, in my opinion, of it. Like, of course, Epstein and a lot of shit we were upset about recently, but this is the culmination of all of it, in my opinion. This one is now like he's taking a step beyond, from my point of view. Yeah. I have a video we'll play here in a little bit where I found a bit of like a 2-minute supercut of him on the campaign trail saying all the right shit. One of the reasons why I decided to vote for him and support him about the wars and things like that. So that's what I definitely want to talk about tonight. But also, we got Garrett here, so we could go off the rails at any moment.
We could go off the rails at any
moment. We are.
Kid.
I got questions. I got ideas. I got theories for you.
Well, what do you want to do first? Do you want to play a video? Do you want to just keep riffing? What? Tell me.
The guest is here. Why don't you choose, buddy? You want me to just fire some off at you?
Yeah, or you can fire something off.
Okay, fire one off. Let's start off with
All right. So I hate to start on such a morbid. It is truly terrifying and scary. We are at war with dangerous people, and we are involved with even more dangerous people of a certain nation the size of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Anyway, the three of us wouldn't be surprised if there is a terrorist attack, right?
Sure, I wouldn't.
Israel got touched. Iran's being decimated. They had the. Thank you for what you said, Scagz, or was it you on social media today, where they were like, "Oh, California's on high alert."
The FBI has warned the local California police departments that there's going to be a suicide drone attack from Iran coming to the West Coast, which is anyway. So not to go off on a tangent. Go ahead, keep going.
So, I don't want to get into this like entire episode of just bashing Israel and the Zionists and stuff like that. But do you think now there's enough people awake, or I know there's not enough people awake, but there is a majority of people that are awake, that if a terrorist attack or a Black Swan event took place, there's too many people awake to witness it and be like, oh no, Israel did that. Iran didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, because the story would be, we would pin it on Iran, and then there would be online conspiracy theories of how Israel did it or something along the lines of that. And then we would end up being censored if we talk about it.
I love it. Captain derailing our entire podcast right at the beginning. Great question though. Who's this going to? Who's answering this first?
Garrett.
Oh, okay.
Do you think there's enough people awake where it would deter them from committing an act like this?
No.
I
think there's enough people awake, but my question is what power do we have to stop it, even if we know it's a false flag? So, like, we speak about it. There's only so much we can do about that. They end up censoring us, right? They've done it to us for years about everything. COVID, the lab, whatever else.
Election 2020,
The election, Biden, the Hunter Biden laptop, Anthony Weiner laptop, Epstein files, everything they kicked me off of YouTube, Spotify, etc. for, right? That has all been proven true. All of it, right? So the problem is there's a lot of people awake, more than you think are awake, especially towards, the little state of New Jersey, right? So the issue is though, what recourse do we have to stop that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we know it's wrong. We're like, whoa, doesn't pass the sniff test, doesn't anything else. But what's going to stop them from going, yeah, we know, but fuck you, and we're going to do it anyway.
And just flip the switch. And
they just did that with doing what they're doing right now.
Thank you. You just made my point for me. Yeah. I agree with you exactly, and it's been proven out because everyone, or most people oppose the war, and they don't give a flying fuck. They're just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, if they needed to, they just would. I do think though that there's like value in pointing out this shit anyway. Like one of the only things we actually can really do, unless we're going to magically take up arms and violently overthrow the government, which you could say that to your blue in the face. I don't know how that actually happens or starts. But like one of the only things we actually can do is when you see something that's just outrageously, pathetically fake, and you just point it out, right? I saw somebody respond to that FBI West Coast drone attack thing and be like, this is the game we're at now. Like we have to be so quick. We have to like immediately get out there, and as soon as we see one of those stories, we got to like debunk it immediately or point out this is like a beginning of a false flag or something like that.
Like, what was it? Monday night, I think I texted you guys, and I'm like, there's
all the UAVs,
normal amount of drones different color drones, because I've been watching them around my area for over a year, which like we're by the military base, they fly over, golf courses that the president owns, all that other shit, right? They were in formation in different colors and bigger than I ever was. And like my kids are looking and they're like, Dad, that looks like they're trying to shield us. So they've always said that they came out and said, oh, it's testing. Don't worry about it. You heard Trump like answer the question.
Well, he never fucking gave an answer. Talk about, betrayals, right? He said he was going to get to the bottom of that. And then when he gave an answer. He never fucking
question. But what I'm saying is I see him all the time over me, and not like, oh, you just see one. Like I see 20, 30 formations, 3 of them just hovering. It's not like, oh, it's just a plane or it's just a drone scanning. Like the other night, there was like 5 or 6 of them. And even my kids were like, that doesn't look like the regular drones. That looks like a different drones. Dad, those are different colors. Like those are all green. They got better eyesight than me. So like my kids can see them. Me, I'm like, and I'm like, I just got the new iPhone and the camera still sucks compared to the Galaxy.
Who knows, dude? Maybe that's fucking what this was the whole time, right? It was one of the things we thought about. They were saying, remember, they did say that there was an Iranian drone launching ship off the coast. I swear to God, they fucking said that. So one of the congressmen said that, back when this was all happening. So maybe what they've been doing the whole time with the drones is like in preparation for the fake false flag drone attack somewhere.
Dude, I really feel there's something going to come.
Well, there is.
Israel didn't get touched for nothing. Iran.
Real quick, there also was an actual terrorist attack in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, the shooter.
And that's a blowback terrorist attack, right?
What that means is guy in New York.
I'm just, that too, right? But like, and that doesn't take away agency from there are just like lunatic, radical people who will actually like
testing the waters to see how
it could be, but I also don't want to like overlook the point that like there was, like Ron Paul said, there was blowback from poor American foreign policy taking this action on behalf of Israel, because let's be honest, that's all this fucking war is. It's on behalf of Israel for Israel's benefit, has blowback effects here in the United States. People will get killed. There will be some crazy lunatic who tries to shoot people. That's not to say there won't be false flags. They could be, to get people to really rally behind the flag, in support of the war. But I don't also want to like absolve the poor foreign policy decisions and the blowback that they cause. Like that is a legit concept and does happen.
Well, you also have, if you remember the reports of like letting so many people over the border for all those years.
Yeah, that too.
There's been reports that the Iranians were coming through the border that way, and they brought surface-to-air missiles into the United States.
Remember that guy that they just happened to interview? He's like, if you were smart, you would know my name. You will know my name one day, very soon. He started making like the threats on TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to think about it.
I fully believe there's sleeper cells here.
Well, there's also they let a lot of things happen to put us in this position to make this a real possibility on our soil.
Well, I just rewatched this other thing. I don't know if I sent it with you guys, but there's a scene in Captain America: Winter Soldier, the second one, and they explain to him what the Winter Soldier is, and they're like, when history needs to be corrected, we correct it in our favor, and we set history, we create history to move forward with our agenda. You know what I mean? Like it.
That's first of all the best Captain America movie, the second one, and it's because there's so many little like lessons and things like that in it, and that's exactly what fucking happens. Look, just to go back to the war itself. I mean, have you guys seen the just outrageous things, justifications, and like lazy propaganda things they've been saying? One of them is that we've been at war with Iran for 47 years, but we're also not at war. They keep saying at the same time, right?
But then they just told us they won the war,
right? That too. But again, let's circle back to, we just change history to make it however we want. Like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to spin it as we, meaning the United States and Israel, have been at war with Iran for 47 years, 50 years, whatever it is. But then I was watching Scott Horton went on Piers Morgan yesterday or the day before, and he was debating 2 dudes who work for the Israeli government, and they were trying to make that point to him. He's like, no, that's just not true. He's like, in the 80s, during the Iran-Iraq war, the United States and Israel gave weapons to Iran and were friendly with Iran in the Iran-Iraq war. Now, yes, we did give weapons as well to the Iraqis, but Scott Horton was like,
weapons to the Afghanis.
Yeah.
Right. But like, you guys know how Scott Horton is. He's just a fucking walking encyclopedia. He's like, here's X, Y, Z information about how the Israelis actually did have
I know how he went
a
about
friendly relationship with the Iranians up until like the early 80s. So you guys are over here saying they've been at war with us forever is simply just a lazy bullshit fucking propaganda talking point.
I mean,
not even true.
but you know what?
And that points to Cap. What I'm saying, they'll just create history as needed
Yeah.
on the fly if need be. They don't give a fuck that
They will, but even if you think early 80s, like I was born in 82 and I'm 43 years old. So like technically if it was 80 or 79, like it is 47 years.
No, 80 is not 47 years ago.
I'm 43 and I was born in 82.
The framing. All right, but again, the framing
was the Iranian hostage.
All right, don't get autistic on me now, Garrett. The framing of the thing is that basically since the Ayatollah and the Islamic Republic took over, we've been at war with them ever since. And Scott Horner's making the point that no, it's actually not true. After the revolution, there was what's that? Which one?
The one where he went and got rescued the Iranian hostages.
Oh, Argo.
Argo. That was a good one.
Right. So and you know, there's been points where we've worked with them after the Iranian Revolution. So it's just a lazy talking point, easily kind of debunked. Is the point
Obama
I'm trying to make.
And the Clintons have been working with them on the slide for some time.
Oh well, yeah, they gave them all that uranium, then they gave him all the pallets of cash, and then Joe Biden didn't he give them more money too?
I also saw some. This is pure speculation. I'm just throwing it out there because I saw
allegedly,
allegedly because I saw it that there is what was it? There is like 127, let's say 130 billion dollars worth of unaccounted gold, undocumented gold that was laundered through the Clinton Foundation through Iran.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I've seen so many.
Who's protected everybody all the time?
I've seen so many stories about like conspiracies about like deep state tunnels under Iran. Iran. Yeah.
Yep.
It's an entire money laundering state. That's
but there's tunnels under everything.
Yes.
All right. Let's keep it focused, boys. You know who's happy right now with Donald Trump? Speaking of, it's Hillary Clinton. She's been singing the praises recently of Donald Trump's foreign policy, right? So let's keep it focused. Hillary Clinton is the evil ice queen, but she's not the president.
Well, she was the one that was supposed to start this. He wasn't supposed to get in.
And
she's like, "Oh,
the ultimate betrayal."
You think
the man that we
Agenda 33?
No,
20,
I don't.
2030.
Let's go back to my video here and let's get back on track.
Let's take a look.
The reason why we voted for this fucking guy is because we all legitimately thought he was the revolutionary force, to fix a lot of these problems and the wars. And now I never bought into MAGA as hard as everybody else possibly did, right? But and I've said it a million times before, like I didn't view him as like Javier Milei style cuts or anything like that to the government, but I did think that like there was
he's been catching a ton of shit.
Let's not get off track. I know he has. You know the point I'm trying to make. Like
no,
I didn't view him as like a right wing libertarian anarchist revolutionary. I viewed him as like a pretty, the guy literally almost got assassinated by these people. So a legitimate chance to change some things. And he started off with. So let's go back. Let's go back to Trump on the campaign trail and watch a little bit of what he used to say.
Are we going to stop this and talk about it?
Anytime you want.
Strength, blood, and treasure, chasing monsters and phantoms overseas. In addition, there must also be a complete commitment to dismantling the entire globalist neocon.
I don't know, it's coming in low on my side.
Perpetually dragging
Turn up your mic
endless wars
or your
interface. To fight for freedom and democracy abroad.
We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars.
We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state. I am the president who delivers peace. I was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. And the worst, most incompetent, most corrupt president in history is going to drag us into World War III. And this horrible, horrible president is dragging us toward World War III. We're going to be in World War III soon. Because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran. Large sections of the Middle East. I mean, look at the death and destruction that's taken place. And none of this would have happened if I were president. Our opponents join with warmongers and neocons to
Neocons.
wage endless wars, these wars that never end.
I'll stop there. You get the point.
I'm about to
It
throw
goes
up in
on
my
and on.
mouth.
Real quick.
I have like a tear in my eye. I'm just
You all know it. We all saw it.
Cap
It's
has
one
a
of-
tear. I have vomit. So
yeah, me too. It was one of the reasons why, we supported him so much, especially the second time around. I want to just highlight the neocon reference over and over again. This war is the final war in the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet of the 7 wars.
Final ring.
And it's Donald Trump who delivers it for them. Yet on the campaign trail, he was talking about the neocons in name, literally, the whole time. So it's absolutely a fucking.
It's heartbreaking how
it is.
we just
How
got
all
played.
this fell for every politician ever.
Yeah, that's the same.
It's the same
played
thing.
us
If you
again.
really look at it, it's the same thing every single time. And I know like people on the left be like, you're so stupid. You fell for it. You fell for it with Obama. You fell for it with Clinton. You fell for it with Bush.
Like
You
the
fell for it
meme,
with
the meme with James Franco. He's like, first time.
Yeah,
right. Like,
exactly.
he's
First
got the
time.
noose around his neck. So like this definitely, like, again, I wasn't naive enough to really think that Trump was going to be excellent in all these things. I thought, he was saying the right things,
We were
right? But
critical
this
of him
isn't the
leading up
first
to
time
it.
for me. So like, I've learned my lesson absolutely at this point. That
Especially
like
being a Bernie supporter.
and when I was much younger, I liked Obama. Obama was also saying all the right things on the campaign trail. So again, like, let's just zoom out for 1 second. And like, there's always this politician who comes along or runs for president and like portrays himself as like the revolutionary who's going to deliver hope and change and make America great again and put America first. And then they end up doing the exact same thing. And, like getting you hung up on like culture war shit, like trannies and etc. But like all these things, they fucking always, these policies always get passed. They always come to fruition. Always.
Well, the hook, line, and sinker to all of this was his first administration was, a hard fought battle, and he didn't start new wars or anything like that. And then Biden was just a disaster, which he was going to be anyway. So like, we really had like this momentum behind it all of like, well, he did it once already, but like that was the hook in the line. And here comes the sinker where we all believed it. We all bought it. And,
I was more inclined to think he would have had the motivation to actually do something because of the assassination attempts, because of how they went after him. I'm just saying, because of how they went after him with
happened anymore.
So I got a couple points, I guess we could say. One, Reagan changed his tune when they shot him too.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Okay.
Yeah, not ruling that out.
Yeah. Two, like, we always, like, everybody, us, left, right, whatever it is, everybody complains about the problem. We need to find the solution. Now, we know this machine, this cog, the wheels of the machine are so vast that even if you put somebody in there that has pretty solid character, because you're not a great person to get to the highest level of government.
Right.
We all can see that.
You got to have blood on you.
And like, listen, and I try to tell everybody, like, I don't need you to be a choir boy to run my shit. I need you to be effective, right? Like, I definitely need you not to fuck little kids. Like, that's a big no-no, right? And like, we need you not to be like
you're willing to make trade-offs.
Dealer, but you know what I'm saying? But like, you're gonna, anybody who's ever ran a business or had to network it, like, you have to have given
absolutely
certain things.
That was, you're literally explaining my exact rationale for having supported Trump in this past election. It's like, look, I'm willing to make trade-offs. Like, he's not fucking
over this
right.
guy.
He's not fucking absolutely perfect on everything I think we should do, but goddamn it, he's saying all the right things on a lot of these really important stuff. Then he becomes president and he literally does the complete opposite.
But also,
of those very important
who
things
has
the other
about.
option
I'm
was
just saying-
Kamala Harris.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, who?
Yes. I'm just
and
making sure.
I agree with both of you, but like, my question is like, okay, boys, like, how do we right this ship? Because at this point, us bitching, complaining, we all know what the fucking problem is. It's the money.
The only way we
it's this.
correct it
Who-
is gas
who do you put in
and
there?
matches.
What's
I
that?
mean, gas and matches are the only way we correct this shit. Like, at this
I don't
point,
necessarily disagree with you on that.
I don't think there is. I mean, if this keeps going the course it is, and
So
tomorrow there will be arrests. I mean, I'm
sorry to cut you off, but I'm so frustrated and tired of us trying to answer this question. I think it's a fucking waste of time. We don't have the answer. In my opinion, let's just keep doing the only thing we can do, which is fucking highlight how bullshit this is, the fucking people who lied, the contradictions they make. That's literally the only thing we can do. Right on this podcast, right this second, we're not going to be able to like lead a revolution and start a violent.
No, and I get that, but like, I also don't want us to be continuously slamming our dicks in a door.
Yeah, I'm not actually slamming my dick in the door though. Like,
no, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing what we are doing.
Sure.
But like, and I'm not saying like we have to start the revolution today, guys. Like, I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I understand.
We are talking, we are highlighting, and people are becoming more and more awake. But like, if everybody's awake and nobody's still like, I thought the whole kid fucking thing would bring the world together. Apparently, it didn't.
I think it's no. I'm not saying it bring the world down.
I always said that from like
needle,
A1.
Dude, it has. It absolutely.
We're in trouble.
It absolutely has moved the needle behind the scenes. I am seeing liberal white women which I've never seen before. Kind of be somewhat red-pilled and be extremely critical of the government, and now sharing like libertarian right-wing talking points that are coming out of Thomas Massey's mouth when he's speaking, right? So it's like, look, it's not nothing. I mean, again, it's not all black pills or you know.
No, and there's definitely a cultural shift. There's definitely like a shift of everybody who like isn't a boomer, and you know, like
I mean, so there's your white pill, right? Like
anybody under 55, let's say. You know,
this definitely is tied to generational, just like demographics, right? Like, look, certain generations are just set in their ways, and it's very hard to
that's why
change
I'm
that.
Because they all already own their houses for $30,000.
They eventually don't last forever, though. It's life, right? So perhaps once the demographic changes and their block of voting becomes smaller because they're not around anymore.
Yeah, but I don't want those
things might change now.
Well, now, you know, dude, I have a plan for that.
Let's not listen.
Yeah. Also, I heard a great joke online the other day where like senior citizens shouldn't get discounts. They figured out their money.
Yeah.
They bought houses for pennies. They should be paying full price. We need millennial discounts.
So real quick, I just want to make the point that as that demographic changes, what I'm looking towards in the future and I'm concerned about is because of all the boomer policies that are like, you know, like you see Trump, for example, saying like, I don't want the price of houses to go down because I want to protect the wealth of the people who already own houses. And let's be real, that's like majority boomers. And I view it as like the boomers are like, you know, like they got all their money on the table and they're grabbing it to make sure that they don't lose one dime. And now, you know, that's not a free market, right? That's the government protecting a certain demographic of people's wealth instead of just making things more affordable for everybody. So my concern is that as that continues, you get more Mamdanis, you get more people turning to communism because they're like, there's nothing we could do. I can never own a home. And Donald Trump and crew will have set the stage for the rise of communism because they didn't do anything to lean into like free market principles and like loosening government. They just grew government and used it to protect a certain demographic. So that's where we come in to make sure we appeal to these white liberal women like Thomas Massey. And if you could reach them through the Epstein stuff, you make the points about like, well, look, if you're willing to listen to Thomas Massey on the Epstein stuff, how about you listen to him on like, you know, economics and reform and shrinking the size of government, things like that. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I want to focus. Leading a violent revolution. We only have an hour each week, if even that. So let's stick to kind of like what we actually can do in reality.
No, I get it. I get it. And like with the problem is like even that tactic where like you just said, what was the last two things you just said? Like listen to Massey talk
on economics and downsizing the government.
I'm just using him as an example. Just
no, but I'm just saying,
example
no. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but like your wife and my wife don't give a flying fuck about that.
I don't know. My wife is pretty fucking woken up to everything going on. Thanks to the Epstein stuff.
But like, no, because they care about that because it's kids. And it's this. But when you're like, I need to know the economic policy of Argentina in 1936.
Yeah, I understand.
Like,
I'm
dorks care about that shit.
What I'm saying is that's the red pill. You eventually got to get red pilled by something, and it starts you on the journey. Have you guys seen the posts Matt Walsh has been making since the war began? That motherfucker is on a journey.
What is it? The Daily Mail?
The Daily Wire. He will be fired soon. But he is on a journey, and you're literally watching it happen in real time, and that's just what happens, right? So the more and more people get red pilled, as we say, the better. Okay, let's come back. I need to get to this point because it's something I noticed that I haven't really seen many people talk about, and it's bunch of interviews Tucker Carlson recently did. He went to Israel, whole shebang, whole ordeal while he was there because he's been super critical of Israel. And he interviewed Mike Huckabee, who is the U.S. ambassador to Israel. Some people say he actually just Huckabee. That's a good word, right? And he asks him about the war and the popularity polls and like, don't you guys care about things like this? So I want to play two clips. I want to play that clip, which I think is interesting in of itself, and then a clip from this past weekend. Now that the wars began, and Tucker is talking about how he tried to go to the White House and talk Trump out of the war, and what he was told. And let's play the two back to back so you could see an insanely glaring contradiction made by the administration and people within the administration through Tucker Carlson.
How much does it matter what Americans think?
Well, it matters every bit what Americans think.
Okay, so what percentage of Americans support a war with Iran?
I don't know. Do you know?
I do. I think it's around 21%.
Okay.
Is that enough to have a war with Iran?
We don't live in a world where you have a poll taken to find out whether our policy should be a particular direction. Because
I thought you just said that
that's
we
direct
vote.
democracy. No, we care deeply about it. But on the other hand, do we make the decisions of foreign policy and even domestic policy based on
we
what
care
the
deeply
latest
about it
poll
in
number
what
is?
sense? If we're ignoring it, then in what sense do we, quote, care deeply about it?
Well, I think we care deeply when we see there's a threat.
No, but about Americans' opinions. So you've got 350 million Americans.
Yeah.
They vote. They voted in this last election on the basis, in part, of the promise no more wars. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're about to have a war. Looks like 80% of people are against it, in that range, let's say 70%, but nowhere near majority support for this war. You just said it matters deeply what Americans think. And if the overwhelming majority are against it, in what sense does it matter? Because what I hear is it matters what they think, but it really doesn't matter what they think because...
No, you take it in, you certainly ingest that.
And then what do you do with it once you ingest it?
Then you make sure that
then you shit it the fuck out.
It goes out the other end, obviously.
I love Tucker, man. He really is like Ron Burgundy. Okay, so the U.S. part of the Trump administration, Mike Huckabee, the U.S. ambassador, says, look, popularity polls don't matter. We don't make foreign policy decisions based on popularity polls. So as the war breaks out, Tucker Carlson is giving an interview with Sagar and Jetty, and he's talking about how this past weekend, literally the past one, he called up the White House and he was going to try and go again. He's, everybody knows Tucker's friendly with Trump and just talk Trump out of the war. Let's stop the war, right? And here's the story that Tucker tells.
So as I said, I flew up to DC 3 times in the last month to try to convince Trump not to do this. It didn't work. It happens. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, boy, this is not going to get better. So then I think I'll fly up again and ask him. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is doing it, so I'm going to try to just declare victory and go home. Like, you killed an 86-year-old cleric. Let's just call that a win and then pull back. And so then meantime, he got convinced to denounce me. Okay. I don't care. I'm going to fly up anyway and see him, right? Even though he's like denouncing me. So I call over there to see, call someone who knows him to see. I've said, I'm just going to fly up anyway and tell him this because I think it's so important. And the person says, don't bother, because he's being shown polling that this war is like a 90-10 win for him. And I said, I don't know where that polling is coming from. It's like, I guess
the boomer generation.
We got very smart people. Very smart people.
Don't bother. He's been shown polling saying it's a 90-10 win. But hold on. Didn't Mike Huckabee just tell us that they don't make foreign policy decisions based on polling numbers? Okay, so obviously that's propaganda. That's a government lying. That's the Trump administration lying. That's completely bullshit. They will just say whatever the fuck they need to say. They will twist whatever logic they have to suit their agenda, their narrative, whatever it be. On the one hand, if it's extremely unpopular to fight a war, they'll say we don't make policy decisions based on popularity contests. On the other hand, if it's extremely popular, they'll say we do make decisions based on popularity contests. You see, it's popular what we are doing, therefore we're going to continue doing it. They are fucking liars. Donald Trump is a fraud. He has betrayed the entire coalition, and they are very ignorantly, lazily, and sloppily doing so. All you need to do is look at it and scratch the surface, just one layer, not very far, just one small layer deeper than the general news talking point cycle.
Yeah, but no normal person's going to do that. They have that's why we're in this situation that we're in.
And look, I think. Sorry to cut you off one more time, but one more thing. Like, you guys are looking for answers on like, what do you do? I mean, look, take some inspiration from Tucker Carlson. There, like, he's not giving up. The president's tweeting mean things at him. He's like, look, I'll just try anyway and go. And like, I'm just one dude, but maybe I could fucking talk the guy out of it, and maybe that could stop a war.
I mean, I find it weird that his son, like, have you seen anything from Don Jr., Eric, any of them? Like,
no, they've all
super duper quiet since the election one. Like, Don was like rah-rah on his demographics and the guns and the 2A and this and that, and they were all firing.
Well, it was all fake. It was all fake to appeal to us right-wing people so that we would vote for them. You think those motherfuckers are really right-wing gun nuts? They're fucking rich suit and tie, live in another universe. I'm sorry, man. Like, yeah, I liked some of the stuff too. It was based as fuck. But thinking back, it was all
I mean,
fake.
they're rich kids that have they're rich kids, and I've always said that. I know Don Jr. though is like a hunter, outdoorsman, all that stuff, because I have a friend who built his guns. So like, I know he's like legit into it.
Sure.
And he has the money to go all over, and he's outdoors.
What I'm saying is like the highlighting of it was fake.
Oh yeah,
like,
no. So in my little brain, I'm just trying to figure out like, why are any of us surprised this really happened? Like,
I'm not.
Nobody's followed through on anything they're ever going to say. So like, I don't want to be blackpilled in the way of like, you're saying like Tucker's telling us to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but with this shit ain't fucking working. Like, we need to figure out how to fix this. Like, I'm sick of like highlighting it, letting them know about it. Like, like
you guys are on two different paths.
We are. Yeah. Again, I agree. I agree with
problem
you.
Solver.
I know. I agree with you. And we joke all the time that we're going to come on here and in 1 hour we're going to solve all the world's problems, but we're not. Right? I'm just operating in reality. I'm like, we're not. Remember after Charlie Kirk got shot, and you were like, that's it, we're going to war. I'm like, no, you're not going to fucking war. You're going to work tomorrow. We're not going to any war. This is literally
that's the problem.
At the moment, all we can do is come on here and highlight some of these things, and that's what I'm trying to do. We can talk about whatever. I'm just saying that's how I'm just trying to operate in reality. This is all I can do in the moment. If General Douglas McGregor fucking somehow puts together a branch of the army that starts to somehow do something about this corrupt government, sign me up. Tell me where to go. I don't know. I'm good with a bow and I'm good with a long range rifle. Right. But for now, I can't do any of that. So here's what I can do. That's my only answer for you.
Yeah. It's
not enough.
Know, man. I just, it hurts me as a person just to be like, shit, we're gonna have to wait for somebody else to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there is.
That's life, though. That's human society. Eventually, there might be some person who like leads everyone and is just, but not every single person is that person. Like, not every single person.
The CIA
Spartacus.
We need a Spartacus.
Yeah, we do. But you'd still wait or be looking towards that Spartacus to come lead you guys out of slavery. Maybe that's all.
Spartacus.
Until he does. I'll be making sure that the like the media landscape and this little tiny sliver that I can is ripe for when Spartacus comes along, that people will actually be able to even hear what he fucking says.
Yep.
Go ahead, Captain. I feel like we've been constantly cutting you off. Sorry.
We've moved past it, but I was saying before, like, I always make that joking question, like, when do we not go into work and when do we use the guns? Right? Like, at what point, like, what has to, like, forget, like, okay, like, yeah, YouTube, sorry, guns are too violent. What has to happen for us to not go into work tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like, do the ships need to pull up in the Long Island Sound and, like, foreign invaders need to have literal boots on the ground crossing right down the street over here in Connecticut.
At this point,
you know what? And they give them a fucking hotel and a debit card and free fucking cell phone.
Dude, if foreign invaders at this point, depending which ones, if foreign invaders came across the board at this point, I might welcome them as fucking allies in overthrowing this tyrannical government that we all, right? Dude, the French helped us fight the English in the Revolutionary War, right? So at this point, I don't think it'd be, maybe that is what it takes. Then you get like some support from an outside force to help you. Now, again, I feel like we're wasting our time. Even what if, when, how, what happened? How do we magically give the pill? No, let's keep going. I got a ton of other shit. I got a ton of other shit. We want to like, again, this is not intended to take blame from Donald Trump away from him over why the war has begun, but we can't avoid the fact that Israel is involved here, and it's a war for Israel. And when the war started the other day, Marco Rubio accidentally just kind of like straight up admitted it. And again, just lazy talking points. It's pathetic. Let's listen.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked the question.
And so the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
So there you go. Our client state, as they would have you believe, their own logic here is that, and he says, no, that's not the case after he just said that was the case one day before. But their client state, their client state decided to go and attack Iran, and therefore we then had to just go and do it because they made the decision in a sense for us. Right? And like if you actually had a president with fucking balls and an administration with a backbone and balls, they would say, excuse me, you're going to go and do something without us, the big bad empire of the world? Like you're going to go and make a decision like that with no, that's not your decision to make. That's our decision to make. Cool. Instead, no, they go to war out of fear because, oh no, Israel's about to go do it. We better go and do it to defend them and to defend our guys. Like they don't exert any influence or leverage or pressure.
Yeah,
on all the shit.
The last guy who did that,
he got his head blown the fuck off.
Okay.
Again, all I can do is show this to you people. That's all I can do. Maybe, but all I can do is show this to you folks so you know the fucking deal.
The hypocrisy of it all.
You know the deal. That is the deal. Yeah.
It's still outrageous to me that like you could talk to certain people and they don't see it. They're like, well, yeah, we got to help our ally.
And real quick, again,
I don't understand how people like, okay, so even like if you sit there and you go, I'm in America. If you're one of these boomers who sit there and you're like, oh, I'm pro-America. I'm America first. Okay, then explain to me like logically why America had to strike first. Okay, even if we were this great ally of Israel, right? Like if we were practicing America first, yes, Israel, we will back you up. Here's some ammunition. We supported Ukraine, right? But we let Ukrainians march into battle. We didn't preemptively strike Russia. Here. No, exactly right, because of our client state, our client, that we're working with. If it's so strange to me that people can't they'll sit there and say they're America first, but how is America first going into the battle first? You know what I mean?
I mean, I pressed Professor Giordano pretty good last.
Save the other people's kids who send your kids into the meat grinder.
Yeah, I pressed Professor Giordano pretty hard on that, Cap. What our last episode where I was like, can you please make the case to me why going to war with Iran is America first? And I thought he made a good faith attempt at explaining from his point of view. Basically, his point of view was like, well,
geopolitical and stuff.
We should just have an empire and take all the resources, and that will benefit Americans back at home.
Yeah.
Now, fair enough, but that's not what's actually happening, and that's not the rationale that like the administration or anyone is going forward with. That's like Professor Giordano's rationale, which is fine. He's a good dude. He means well, but he's not the president or the king of the world, right? So
I'm glad we got to fuck over China. That's been a positive in this.
Have we a lot of the fucking oil and stuff that goes to them? Like I saw a video today of a drone strike in it was in Oman, right? So like there was a drone strike in Oman, and the video of the drone strike was being taken by Chinese dudes who were working in the refinery. So I'm like, America is fighting a war against Iran to protect oil refineries that China owns on behalf of Israel. Like this is so fucking far afield from having anything to do. Like even if you want to even if you want to say China is a big bad threat, whatever. Like okay, we're kind of like even defending some of their infrastructure and investment in this war because it's Israel's foreign policy objective, right, to fight this war
it's all
against Iran.
Mirror, Scagz. Like they're all in it together. That's what like people have to start. Like we're still playing in like the tribes and the right versus left and the USA versus like it's got to be humanity versus humanity at this point, because like the people at the higher ups of the government are all on the same side and they just move us around. They're still living a good life, even if they're bombing the shit out of everybody.
I don't,
dude,
I don't even know. You're saying humanity versus humanity. I mean, these sorts of things are the things that have made me believe in God more than anything the past couple of years. I mean, when a war breaks out, the behavior you see in some of these people, it's really hard not to think that the devil literally, like I've said, like soft possesses them and uses them as like pawns on a chessboard to cause chaos, despair, misery, death. That
I mean, it's
Satan
easier
then
to do
siphons
that when
energy
they
off of.
fucking worship and sacrifice people to them.
Remember Iran a week before the war started, burned
They
down.
burnt another one this week.
Yeah.
How about the Tomahawk strike on a school of children in Iran once the war broke out? Did you guys see that one?
Nobody fucking cares.
So I'm just saying, like,
when Obama did it.
I'm making the point that what is that? Who like a literal U.S. Tomahawk missile blew up a school full of children, and I try not to like get into the X's and O's of like strikes because war can be messy, right? And sometimes like something's fake. So I didn't say anything about that right away, but they did do an investigation, and turns out that they did strike a fucking school.
What it is just it's government inefficiency. And they had some dope behind the desk pushing the button. And what did Bill the Butcher say? Whoopsie! Remember?
Double tap twice though. Like, and then again, you want me to show you Trump's reaction?
This is just a video game.
Probably terrorists hiding underneath the school, like the hospitals.
It's an entrance to a tunnel.
Dude, this is the problem: is they're children, and they're children, even though they're a different race or a different, ethnicity, nationality, whatever. Like, it's still kids, and that's what. Until we can get together on like that type of shit, we're fucked. We're so fucked.
How unless we make people aware of it? Look, again, I'm not even saying I agree. Maybe there was terrorists nearby. Maybe it was a mistake. Now the official rationale, I think, for
I'm saying that like
real quick again, like the official investigation after it now has played out is that it was a targeting mistake. Now, hard to believe you back to back targeting mistakes, but
hold on, wait. So the people that made the problem got to investigate themselves again.
But listen to let's real quick. I'm not letting him get away with this. All right. Let's hear what the commander in chief has to say when he was asked by a really good fucking question for once about this exact thing.
Get it.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only.
Well, back up real quick. So actually, before this video started, Trump literally insinuated that Iran bombed the school themselves, right? Like Iran does not have any Tomahawk missiles. That is a U.S. military only sort of technology.
How they could have definitely stole it somehow.
In your government saying this, even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Okay, that's not true. There's only about a handful of other nations who use them. They're all the English-speaking nations. Even Israel, we don't give any Tomahawks to them. So it couldn't have been them. It's obviously us. He says there is an investigation taking place. I think the UK, like Australia, no one actually involved in the war directly at the moment. It's us. It was our Tomahawk missile. It's our military's Tomahawk missile. Just be real. So, okay, I don't know enough about it. Other people have Tomahawks after he just insinuated that it was Iran who used Tomahawks. But obviously, no, they don't. I don't know if there's an investigation, and we'll see what happens. So the investigation, this is a military investigation. How they go and investigate, I guess, who gave the order, what was the intelligence, whatever. We know dudes who are in the military. We know they do like debriefings and investigations of mistakes and things like that. We could say they investigated themselves and they found nothing wrong, but let's be real. We do know that the military does actually do real investigations of mistakes that they make. They just do. And this was a mistake or a thing that happened, right? So I usually choose not to get involved in this shit because I don't know if it's even true. But if our own military is actually now investigating it, it leads me to believe that there's some credence to what happened here as actually having happened to some extent or another, instead of it just being completely made up by Iran. Do you guys follow what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. You trust the military's investigation?
I trust that it actually happened now. No, I didn't say I trust the military. I trust that the event actually happened now. So now I'm willing to actually like form an opinion on it or comment on it instead of maybe just completely made up. All right. The investigation.
You said what I was thinking. Now you trust the military.
No.
Okay.
You guys are missing my point.
The military's the only way. He's going to be accused
Do I have to make my point again? Do I have to make my point again?
No,
I trust that it actually happened. Okay, so then Trump's asked again after the investigation concludes.
Chief, do you for what? For the strike on the school in Iran. A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course he's not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
We're talking about the devil. We're talking about Satan. Does he possess people? Does he work through people? I got Lindsey Graham videos too. You guys want to see more evidence of possibly fucking the devil working through people? I mean, you have to. I mean, talking about kids being killed and the president. I don't know. I'll wait for the investigation. Investigation concludes. Turns out we did it. What do you think? I don't know. Doesn't care.
I mean, that's
dude. You could look
his optics at this point.
There was a right answer to give. In all honesty, if I give him the benefit of the doubt, there's a right answer to give. Look, it's a war.
Scagz right answer.
It's a war. The military investigated what happened. You say exactly what happened. There was a targeting mistake. It was a
honest politician.
It was a. I'm saying that there is an answer. There is an answer. Listen to me, you fucks. There is an answer.
We've been listening to you.
There was an investigation.
Giving us the fucking ear beating.
There was an investigation. There was a mistake. It was unfortunate. It's not what we intended, and it's not how we're trying to conduct the war. We're after the bad guys. That's the answer to give, right?
Awesome.
If it actually was
have you ever
mistake.
seen a politician do that in your life?
They could. They absolutely fucking could.
How many have?
No, they don't.
But they're not going to.
But I'm just saying there is an answer to give. You before said Cap. You're like you said before. Of course, he's not going to want to touch that one with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
No, this looks even worse. What he's saying now.
Because you know what? In a week,
it's plausible deniability.
This school's the school could still be on fire. Nobody would remember it.
Again, we're talking about Satan and the devil. Sir, plausible deniability. Fine. I'm looking at it as like these. You know, he's an evil fucking dude. Honestly, if that's his reaction to children being
people have died in their bombing campaigns.
But during the like what Cap's saying during the time, let's just say, and I know this might be a whataboutism, right? But like realistically, were you that fired up when fucking Obama drone strike that wedding and killed all those kids?
Yes. I mean, we were doing a podcast at the time, but I knew about it. Why do you think I fucking hate Barack Obama? Because he went back on everything he campaigned on back in 2008, hope and change.
But I'm saying real time.
Yes, real time. Yes, I was paying attention.
When it happened, how many people? I'm not saying us. I'm just saying in general public, right? How many people were like?
Yeah, a lot of people were like that.
Equivalent of the same thing.
And
I'm not saying it's right.
Sure, but okay. So here's
on that bullshit all the time.
Agree completely.
But I'm just saying we're going grand scheme of things, right? So like we're not talking about our personal opinions. We both know what our personal opinions are on this. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. You should right your wrong. You should who does it and how many of the polls really care if it goes either way. So he's just gonna say whatever's the best thing to do and trudge on and move on.
He's just gonna get away from that question as quick as possible.
You don't think he's ruthless to fucking go where he is?
Yeah,
and get to where he is and to have as much money as he is. Like once again, like this is the problem, right? We have to pick the best of the gangsters, and we just keep getting let down by every gangster. So until we change that thing and we keep talking about it, like we're gonna keep getting the same result. It's the definition of insanity, right?
Oh, well, we are in insane
we're doing the same thing over and over again.
There's no question about that,
right? So until like I mean, I can't say it because we'll get taken off of YouTube, but until there's a switch of power structure in the entire world, we're going to have the same freaking problem.
Yeah, well, it looks like we're rushing head first into agenda. What was it, 2030 or 2033?
Which one? The Democrat one to end the world or
yeah,
whatever?
you live, you eat the bugs and you live in the pod. You own nothing. One world government.
So I enjoyed, Garrett, how I got you to start now just talking about how bad Trump is there. So I just sat back and just stay quiet because, again, that's the only thing I can do here in the moment is just show. Again, I'm looking at this as like 1 hour, limited time. There are a ton of people who are out there still swallowing cock, right? Just, right? You know, and swallowing cock. There are people out there. And then there are people who just like, you know, like are seeing this and they still I still like Trump. And
it's not that I still like Trump by any means. I'm done with it, but also I'm done with it in a way where I'm like, bomb more schools. I don't just fucking. I want to.
When you have children, you will think you're nihilistic, kill kids.
NPC. I just put my head in the sand and let the world burn. You know, around me. This is fine. It
is hard, but once you have kids, Cap, it's a different animal.
It's coming soon. Don't worry.
No, don't worry. I completely understand that, but I mean, like it gets to a point with all these. Let's just get World War III going, bomb it all, nuke it all. Just let's light this candle. Sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose.
I'm busting chops, but I know what you mean. I share your sense of exasperation, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what it is. It's not even. It's not even black pilling. It's just straight fatigue.
Yeah,
you know, like.
I would say that's a good word for that.
And it's even more because, like, again, when I look back at what Trump promised on the campaign trail, and then even after that, when he first came into office and he came out like doing great shit right off the bat. Doge, we're gonna balance the budget. We're gonna cut the size of government. He actually negotiated the first ceasefire in the Gaza war, like right after he came out of office. I remember one of our episodes like, whoa, like, you know, he seems fucking serious, like. And then I remember the exact moment.
And then he started sucking dick and kissing walls.
No, listen.
Went downhill.
In all fairness, though, like we have the Senate and the Congress and
we can't get nothing done.
We don't have anything. It's 99% controlled by the evil people.
We haven't even passed one election law to tidy up the elections.
Yeah.
We haven't made any meaningful.
Dude, forget elections and all that. Just let's look at the FBI, not even Trump's administration. We got Kash Patel in there. We fought for him to get in there. He campaigned on just his ruthless aggression that he was going to rip through the FBI and fire all these people and solve all these problems. And all we got out of him was like, trust me, bro, Epstein didn't kill himself. You're right, because he's alive in Tel Aviv
He
right
became,
now.
He became the very thing we put him in there to stop.
Yeah, I always but my thing was like, okay, you know what? The Epstein file is that linchpin that will end world governments. Let's just dial it back. Russiagate. We know exactly what happened, and we know the guilty parties involved. You're the FBI. Do something.
They're not, though. They can't, right? So again, even when you go like, let's stroke Trump's ego, things that targeted him directly that were wrong. We all agreed. Russiagate, the assassination attempt. Zero motivation or effort to get justice on those things, and we would support those things, right? Even now to this day, with how black-pilled I am, how much I hate Trump right now. If he fucking said, "All right, we're actually going to get to the bottom of Russiagate and the assassination and who was behind all that shit," I would fucking come on the show and support those things. Yes. But that is not going to happen.
Yes,
I know.
What's important, what's actually first, is Israel. And all of these neocon plans and all this shit. The domestic stuff, they do not give a flying fuck. Quite the contrary. They are completely fine with putting the domestic population at risk. I don't care if I have to pay more for gas for a couple times to see the overthrow of the Islamic regime in Iran. That's not what's being said by America.
Islamic ideology is
right.
Disappear.
The fuck out
you
of
paid
here.
$8
Please.
a gallon. Yeah.
Fucking
pathetic.
Until
it's until it goes back up for another fucking war.
Everybody, they're all threats in their own way, right? Is it the worst? Is it the best? Like, yes. Is there extremists? Yes. Are they pushing in America for a lot of things? Yes. Is there extremists on the other side of things? Yes. Are they pushing for us to destroy countries? Yes. So I don't know. We need to just bring it back to a true American first and a true, protect.
I just wish Trump ran his first administration. I wish Trump did the majority of this in his first administration, so then he wouldn't have been able to play us for his.
We didn't waste, like we've now lost possibly eight years, And you know what though, right? Want the silver lining? Like I will never fucking support any of these motherfuckers ever again.
Dude, until there's arrests and justice.
There was at this point for me nothing they can do. I don't care.
Yeah.
There is nothing they can do. There's
Even
nothing.
if they perp walk 50%.
Doesn't matter. I wouldn't trust it. There, that's like. They
go to jail
to
in
burn a few guys.
then,
At this point, it's like they'd had to burn a few guys so that they can convince us that no, we were somewhat real, right? Like no, JD Vance, you're fucking done. Marco Rubio, I never liked him to begin with. Anyways, pathetic watching guys say he's doing such a good job. He's going to run for office next time.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard, get fucked. Like even if you're in there trying to do some good or something like that, you could just resign and make a spectacle of it and be like, "This is so fucked. I'm going to quit my job." Right,
like you that's what Bongino did.
Yeah, what Marjorie Taylor Greene did.
It could be what I mean, it basically is what Marjorie Taylor.
For quitting.
No, I didn't give her shit for quitting. I just said no, I didn't. No,
I didn't. Back me up on this.
I don't have that good of a memory, but
she's also in a different boat because she's in a position to oppose like directly bad things that are happening. I'm talking about like people who work in the administration. Like if they're legit good people, and
Bongino did that
because he's out there now. His entire life, fucking purpose is committed to running propaganda for the administration.
I think he quit so he could quit on paper to be a propaganda machine.
Yes, I think they realize he's more effective in his show being a propagandist than he is at number 2 in the FBI. That's not doing dick, right? Yeah. So I think that's just what happened. By the way, White Pill. They were saying his show was going to be number 1. Millions of views. He is losing. He is down below 50 now in the rankings. Yeah. Dave Smith is on the way up above 50, which is ironic because they had that spat between each other as soon as he went back to reporting, Dave Smith and Dan Bongino. So they're heading in opposite directions. If you want to just talk about like what's popular, what's not, polls, things like that, that's somewhat representative of like the truth, right? I think people have fucking realized, man, Dan Bongino is a fucking fraud, and his viewership numbers of
the one, if speaking of how I don't have a good memory, I remember Garrett calling out Bongino for when he was going to be part of the FBI, and he was like, whoa, he worked for Obama. What are we doing here? You called him out on that. I never forgot, because before that, like before I educated myself and learned who he was, I thought he was just a podcaster like Dave Smith or any of these regular guys.
Secret Service
for Obama.
Yeah, he's part of the machine.
They all are. When you're in government,
yeah, he said some good things about COVID, right?
Slides, they jump a little bit, they move. Their cousin gets the position, and they're just it's a giant pyramid scheme.
All right, a couple more things. Let's play, and then tweets of the week, and let's get out of here. We can't let this one slide. I mean, you guys remember it's dangerous to our democracy. You're seeing Operation Mockingbird.
It's a new project.
New phrase. Operation Mockingbird, just the same. Doesn't matter. Old boss, same as the new boss.
This is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Short-term pain be for long-term gain.
We're going to have some short-term pain with long-term gain.
Short-term pay for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain, yes. But we've got some long-term gain. Short-term spike for a long-term gain.
Some short-term pain for American consumers.
We may have to deal with that in the short term.
Short-term and temporary.
Temporary, short-term pain.
It's going to suck in the short term.
Some short-term pain.
Short-term pain. We have to focus on the short-term.
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 Short-term and long-term.
Short-term blip. Hopefully this is a short-term pain. Short-term is highly outweighed of the long-term benefits.
Some short-term pain for the long.
Fuck you, Jack Generali.
Short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain.
This is a
how a normie can like. This is the type of stuff that every normie needs to see, because like you know what I mean. Like at a certain point where it's like, do I gotta hold your hand? Yes, you do. Short-term gain, long-term. Short-term pain. Long-term gain, short-term pain, long-term gain, and just sit there and let them watch it over and over again.
So they're not watching it like that, right? Like
I know,
the eyes taped open, right? Yeah,
that's short-term pain.
Yeah, but they are watching all that shit over a long period of time, right? So you see, that's how propaganda works, like repetition. I bet you our fucking one of our parents at some point in the next couple of weeks is gonna say that phrase to some extent to one of us. I could guarantee it.
I'd strangle my father.
So obviously, that's fucking the memo went out, Operation Mockingbird type shit. But like, even if I want to engage them on the point that they're trying to make, which is the same point that like Alan's trying to make, I'll deal with some higher gas prices if it means the overthrow of the Islamic regime. Short-term pain, long-term gain. They're so sure. Wait, real quick, they're so sure of themselves, right? Number one. How are you guaranteed that it doesn't turn into another Afghanistan, Iraq, 20-year fucking boondoggle?
No and what's
but they're selling it right now.
2 years instead of 22
that
years.
That too. What do you even define as short term? I view it as it's short term pain for no gain, right? Like even short term pain is also just pain. It also is just pain, right? Like that is like real pain that people are going to feel in the short term. Maybe the short term is 2 weeks, right? But that's still 2 weeks. Maybe people who are fucked already now have to be extra fucked for what? So we could overthrow the Ayatollah, and it doesn't actually benefit them in reality at all.
So we overthrow the Ayatollah. We supposedly fuck China's pipeline. Israel does their little land grab, and they now have the greater state of Israel with the Irani land. Where's our gain? What
if Professor Giordano is here,
didn't we take Venezuela to get that oil?
Yeah. Why? I still question
because that hasn't played out the way they thought, and it's not working out that way. And if even that was right, that was a point made, right? Like that.
And where is Maduro? Does anybody know? Is he still in New York?
He's in lockup. He's in Epstein's cell.
We all quickly forgot about that. Are they still shooting people in the Mexican airports? Is the cartel still fucking waging war on the people for killing the cartel boss?
Guys, don't lose sight of like when the Iraq war happened and there was this type of shit propaganda happening. We were just kids and couldn't do anything. Like it's now just happening in real time, and we actually can say something or point it out and do shit about it. So like that's also the kind of the way I'm viewing it is like I remember what it was like, and like here it is now when I'm an adult. It's my turn now to actually have a voice as an adult, like we're adults, to say something and point shit out. It's like I'm going to.
Not to be an adult.
I'm just saying, like I'm not gonna.
Kids at the party.
It doesn't. I know the exasperation we're all feeling, right? But I'm not gonna just fucking go quietly or something like that, and not point shit like this
out.
Not
possible for me to go quietly. So
that's
it's an impossible task for me as well, sir.
One more video, and then my tweets of the week. Let's go with our wrong one. He signed off in this one, so it's fitting. But Lindsey Graham the other day, who was
that guy.
He was another fucking loser.
Of course, on there talking about the war, he signs off like this.
God bless Israel. We should move all our stuff to Israel. Thank you.
God bless Israel. We should move all of our stuff to Israel.
You know how they say you should die for Israel, God bless Israel, that's it. Now, if us as Americans, let's just take Israel out of it.
Yeah.
God bless Russia.
We did good this week. We did good today. We didn't talk that much about Israel.
God bless Russia. Yeah. Our kids should go die for Russia. Like, if we just switched Israel out for Russia, everybody would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
But no. Oh, yeah. Support them. No, support U.S. Like it's not anti-Semitic. It's just real. Like it's like, why are we not supporting ourselves?
Yeah,
it's wild to me.
I had one other video.
I have no more comments on that front, man. I do not understand how half the population, when Russia and Ukraine broke out, was like, "Wait a minute, something's fishy here." And then just a few years later, the exact scenario plays out. And they're like, no. Israel's the real deal. We need to help them. It's different. It's just
the Middle East.
All the same people.
Giant aircraft carrier. To protect the promised land from the heathens. In support of a secular government who doesn't represent any of our same beliefs as religion. Yeah.
I just all the same people who were so like bullseye on Ukraine are so blinded by this. That is one of the strangest phenomenons the same people I sat around a Christmas table dinner with
real
and talked about how like Ukraine and Russia is all bullshit and we shouldn't be involved. A few years later, they're on the other side of the agenda because it's a white and blue flag now.
$1 trillion propaganda at work right in front of you.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Good point. Trillion dollar propaganda machine. It has effects still.
Working right in front of you. And showing
there is
you real
kryptonite.
time.
There is some kryptonite out there, that unwinds that, but it does still have an effect. Definitely.
Wish they would find some propaganda to work on me.
I feel like I not to get into another tangent, but I always thought that demoralization is also part of propaganda, right? Like, it wants you to feel like you're hopeless. There's nothing you can do. Exasperated. What's the fucking difference? Why do I keep doing this? There's no point.
Yep.
And meanwhile, before you know it, like, actually is like 90% of you who oppose this thing, but you do read into their bullshit polls saying 94% of people support the war. It's actually not the case, probably quite the opposite, but they've convinced you that it is. So then you don't make us think, All right, tweets of the week real quick. I actually have some. First one was by Alex Stein, who's a fucking comedian, funny dude, usually like a shit poster. He goes, if Iran can't bomb America while we're literally at war with them, then why would they bomb us some other time?
Yeah.
Great fucking simple point.
The logic is so damning.
Right, like you would think, right, like all the danger we've been led to believe about why we had to go and attack them back in June and why we have to do this now. Fuck. We're literally in a shooting war with them right now. Why wouldn't they fucking, if they had the capability to do so, or if they were such a threat in that regard, they of course they would have fucking struck us, but not by now. But why haven't they? Because they don't actually have the capability to do so, and they never fucking did. And that was all a lie to get you to justify aggression towards them.
Yep.
Great fucking tweet by Alex Stein. Says a lot, but says nothing at the same time. Jake Rom says, what you have to understand about Lindsey Graham is that he is actively trying to go to hell because that's where he thinks all the gay guys are.
I really can't stand Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. All right. This one is tweet of the week because of the community note. So Pino Americano. I remember I started following this guy because he retweeted Steven once. Like Stephen Mallet is the sergeant. And he was like, oh, follow this, former vet, small account. And I was like, okay, I'll follow this guy, just shouting out my boy Steven. Turns out this guy is a fucking shit MAGA influencer, fucking cock swallower, like the rest of them. And he goes, I have no issue paying $1 more per gallon of gas to end 47 years of Iranian regime terror. That's a small contribution for freedom. I'm glad to make it. The community note says, poster previously stated if a Democrat started war with Iran and if gas prices went up, the response should be quit making war, dipshits. And it links back to that. Right. So I'm telling you, the same guy. I'm telling you right now, when gas prices spike again and Democrats start with, oh, well, there's a war going on in Iran, even fucking names, exact place the war is happening. Cut them off mid-sentence and state very clearly, quit making war, dipshits.
That's put so beautifully. I gotta try and
hang the two of them in the Louvre, right? Like this is the shit I fucking hate. This is the type of shit that people like Allen are doing, right? It's Cook.
I've been down everybody's throat about this. Is you don't care because the guy you voted for is in the chair, right? You were never. I had to explain this to somebody today when they were like, well, are you upset with Trump? I'm like, yes, the fuck I am. Of course. I'm like, I've said it from the start. I'm not here to play blue team versus red team. I'm here to serve justice and get accountability for the corruption that has taken fucking place. Okay. And for everybody, the main reason everybody doesn't care that, we're going to war for Israel is because our guy's in the chair. If there was the other guy in the chair, you would be
losing your mind
against this. You're not here for accountability. You're just here because your team is up on the scoreboard. Yep. That's it.
I know.
That's as deep as your fucking politics go.
Given your point you just made, I got a question for you guys. Is it actually more valuable then, given everything you just said, to have the Democrats in power? Because when they are, it seems to radicalize everyone way more to the point of possibly doing something about it. Whereas it seems like when the red team is in charge, this phenomenon happens every time where people are placated. They then start supporting the bad things because their side is doing it. However, when the other side is in charge, and let's be real, the right wing of America is the ones with the guns, the ones who fight the wars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So is it more valuable? This is the Michael Malice point.
It's a very interesting
This is why
question.
Michael Malice supports all the Democrats as an right-wing anarchist, because he views it as like, no, they radicalize people to actually eventually one day do something, whereas the red team makes you all feel complacent.
I guess in this scenario, since I so desperately want to burn it all down, yeah, it would be more valuable for the Democrats to be in charge.
Garrett?
I mean, Garrett, wouldn't you be more likely to, you know,
I hate them all too.
I don't know if I would be more likely. I'm more likely to do it now. So fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just
well, you know what though, what it
and I
helps
understand both your viewpoints, and I understand like exactly what you're saying, Cap. Like I do understand, I do agree with you, but like that's where it came back to where I was saying in the beginning of the show is like we have to do something. Like we could talk about it, but nobody's fixing the problem or the solution. So we need to fix the problem and become the solution in some sort of way, right? Because otherwise, we're gonna keep batting the fucking ping pong ball back and forth. And then nothing happens. Like I need somebody to blow up the ping pong ball and break each other's paddles, and then we can start playing a new game.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I think the point I'm trying to make, I'm not saying I even think that this is the right thing. I'm not saying I support the Democrats. I'm saying, is it more valuable to have them in charge so that they force everyone to hit more of like a critical mass?
So,
like they radicalize a critical mass of people at some point that then
this is
the
the point I was going to make with you is like they are running it, right? Trump was a Democrat.
That's
RFK
true.
was a Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard's a Democrat.
Yes, that's a good point.
Wow.
So they are running it still. They just put on a different suit.
Mask. Yeah. Different skin suit.
God, I hate this.
All right, one more tweet of the week. I mentioned him before, and this was a great tweet. Michael Malice. He said the unspoken lesson of the Iraq War is that if Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, he'd be in power today. Absolutely.
No lies detected there.
Forget about everything we literally just said this whole time. Give the war hawks everything, right? Give them every benefit of the doubt. They're all trying to do the right thing. They have all the best intentions in hand. They want to stop the spread of nuclear weapons. The policy that they deploy actually makes it more likely that evil regimes will pursue nuclear weapons, because like a Kim Jong-un has been absolutely the most vindicated person on planet Earth because of this war. This will never happen to him. What's happening in Iran will never happen to him, because if it does, he just pushes the button and he fucking vaporizes everything with the nuke, right? So you are incentivizing more Kim Jong-un like type dudes to make sure that they do get nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
so
he's got the biggest hammer, man.
It's a question of sovereignty, right? Like if you don't have nukes, you're not sovereign. You are fucking gonna be stopped.
You're up for the taking.
You're gonna be stomped by the United States, Israel, China, right?
Banking system.
Right. So again, give them everything. Give them everything to try and do it all for the right reasons. It's still a poor fucking policy, because it's going to have
Pakistan and India fighting it out over there too. Still,
they're good for now.
They're good for now, but both of them have nukes too.
Right. They do.
Wow.
Right. And look, both of and look again, both of them are they're Pakistan's somewhat subservient to our interests, but nowhere near. Like they're definitely way more sovereign, I'd say, an actor. Like if they don't like doing things, it's India especially. India is way more sovereign. Like I would say, India is definitely not under our thumb. There's there's mutual.
Yeah, once they said fuck the British, they were like,
so
I'm out.
Again, it's a bad lesson to teach evil people. You need nukes. If you don't have nukes, you are not a sovereign nation. America at any moment could come in and fucking drone strike your fucking leader and kill him, and that's it. Or pluck him out. In a nighttime raid. If he doesn't do what America wants him to do. So.
Yep.
Yeah, if Maduro had nukes, he'd probably still be in Caracas right now.
Mm-hmm.
In his Venezuela house.
I agree.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got.
We're done here. All right, Doom Nation, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Garrett, my samurai, my sensei, tget you for coming on, brother.
Yes,
We've missed you. We're glad you're feeling better, man.
Appreciate it,
we're
man.
definitely going to have you back on. And
let's do some fun shit, maybe. Like, let's go back into flat Earth and all that stuff.
Lightheartedness.
Yeah.
The tunnels.
I know.
Go do a deep dive into chemtrails or something.
That's fine. I'm okay with it.
And we'll probably talk to you in the next 5 minutes once we get back into our group chat. So Doom Nation, thank you guys for listening. As always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And on that note, everybody say adios.